Michael, I'm curious what the last 3 weeks have been like for you, and then what it's been like to just get back into the groove of things a little bit with the game this weekend, and just kind of how things have gone.
Yeah, the last couple of weeks, it's obviously been kind of rough. Everybody wants to play. We've just kind of been battling with if we're going to play or not. Especially last week, getting halfway through the week and realizing we're not going to be able to play for the next 2 weeks. Definitely been kind of tough, but you just kind of got to roll with the punches and take whatever's coming and just move on. And at this point now, we're just getting ready for UCLA.
Trevor.
Hi, Michael. Good to see you. UCLA has obviously had a lot of success with its two backs this year, and then they ranked pretty high in terms of rushing offense nationally. What are kind of the challenges you see going against their offensive line and stopping that rushing attack this weekend?
I mean, yeah, there's no doubt they're going to come out hot and heavy running the ball. They rushed for, I think, over like 240 yards last week. So there's no doubt they're going to run the ball. We just got to make sure we strap on our helmets and make sure everybody's got a mouthpiece because we're going to be hitting.
Oh.
So, Michael, I know for you, I know the sample size is kind of small, just one game, but how personally satisfied were you with your performance against USC?
I felt pretty good. I mean, obviously, there's always places to improve. So, I tried to leave everything out on the field, but, you go back, watch film, and get better the next week. So that's kind of where I'm at right now.
Jacob.
From a conditioning standpoint, what has it been like for you kind of getting back into the swing of things? Because Herm yesterday and then Zach Hill just now talked about how one of the bigger challenges for you guys has been getting back into that game shape from a conditioning standpoint. So how have you kind of approached that, and how has that gone so far?
Yeah, it's tough. You get 2 weeks off from football and there's not a lot of running involved. You just got to find the time outside on your own, whether that's running around the block or doing some push-ups in the living room. You got to find something just to keep that activity up and just kind of keep yourself in shape because it's tough.
Michael.
Yeah, Michael, obviously the first game, like you were saying, I mean, went pretty well for you. But when you talk, I was just asking Coach Hill about obviously like chemistry and I mean, yeah, practices and then you get to play a game. How do you feel? I know it's only been a few days of practice, but how do you feel the communication with the rest of the defensive line has been with you since you guys have been back in practice?
It's going really good. We definitely know that we're going to have to buckle down and stop the run this week. So the communication definitely has to be there, and it's going really good. We've been practicing since Friday and Saturday, so we've gotten a couple of days to adjust, get that 2-week funk out of our system, and now we're rolling. So it's going really good.
Jeff.
Can you talk about some of the things the coaches did to try to help you guys to get through this period, and especially what you guys were thinking when you found out that Herm and some of the other coaches had COVID?
Definitely a lot of Zoom calls. We wanted to make sure everybody was safe, everybody was staying healthy, and just taking that extra precaution. So we did a lot of Zoom calls, still going over all the defenses, going over all the plays. But it was more of like it was more mental reps than anything. Physically, some of us could be out there, but mentally it was more just getting those reps, watching the film, talking it out over Zoom and stuff like that, so there wasn't any lapse in communication when it came to, the scheme and what we were doing.
Oh.
Michael, you mentioned the Zoom calls and going for the mental reps because you had such a long preseason and you did so many Zoom calls preparing for the season that way. Obviously, you didn't want this 3-week break, but did it kind of help really kind of going back to, familiar territory, if you will, doing mental reps through Zoom call, everything you did for the summer, even September, to do it now the last 3 weeks just to be mentally sharp for this game coming up?
Yeah. And I guess for me as a player, I learn a lot better when I can actually physically go out on the field. But yeah, we have been doing Zoom calls for the past couple months and stuff like that. And eventually you kind of get used to it. But, I definitely can attest that a lot of people would rather be on the field than watching it over on a screen. But, being able to still watch that film and still get the reps in is still really good.
Alex?
Hey, Michael, I know you mentioned sort of running around the block and doing push-ups, but was there any sort of specific regiment that, maybe Coach Connolly or whoever gave to you guys to stay in shape throughout the break here?
Yeah, there was definitely some lifting, a couple lifting sessions and stuff like that. So we had our lifting regiment still going on. So
Jacob,
Michael, what would you say the biggest challenge has been for you, over the last 3 weeks, whether that's mental, physical, excuse me, or then also with coming back, what would you say the biggest challenges are?
I guess for me, I guess we kind of touched on it earlier, is that communication. Only having one game under our belt and then missing the next 3 weeks before we play another game, you're going to have that lapse in communication. So that's really the biggest challenge for us, is just to come out, make sure everybody's sound and playing the same game.
Jeff,
How important is it for the players to finish this season despite everything that's happened? How much of a priority and how much does it mean to you guys to get these next 3 games in?
At the end of the day, we're all here to play football, and nobody wants to sit out and watch everybody else play. So it's definitely super important, and I know everybody wants to get back on the field, especially me.